Today on Fresno State Focus, we will talk about how our new generation is getting involved in politics.
Also, a weekly interview with the Collegian discussing Proposition 26 and 27 on how sports betting will be affected in California.
Plus, all of the spooky activities here in Fresno State that are getting us into the holiday spirit.
Fresno State Focus starts now.
Hello and welcome to Fresno State Focus. I'm Sydney Morgan.
I'm Jocelyn Clark. Welcome back to another weekly episode of our live newscast by our students journalists.
We are entering the election season with many counties having new or returning candidates on the ballot. We may not like change, but it is important to know when to make changes and where those changes are needed. Brianda Lemus shows us the next generation involved in government right now.
1 hour south of Fresno, 1 hour north of Bakersfield, right east from the Sequoia National Forest, home of the Lindsay Olives.
At 24 years old, Hipólito Aceros is in his second year as mayor pro tem for the city of Lindsay. As a UC Davis alumni and Lindsay native, he knew his own city needed a change.
I don't have the 20 years of experience that my colleagues on the council have, and I don't have a doctorate in business, but at the same time I realize that you don't need to have this certain level of expertise to understand the problems that are occurring in your community.
Brendan Gonzalez is also a Lindsay native and an Area 1 school board candidate. Gonzalez has been a teacher for the Lindsay Unified School District these past 8 years.
I saw a need, and as a true educator, I feel that our knowledge, it's useless unless you pass it on to someone.
You will notice a pattern in our elected members locally to nationwide. It's important to take initiative in possibly being part of that next generation to make a difference and represent your own community.
I also don't think that I'm meant to be in office for 20, 30 years. I want to mentor someone else. I want people to know by me running that, hey, I can run. I can do that.
Remember, these are people who are willing to put their needs aside to make others heard. As much as they try, they are one single person that need your help.
For the upcoming generation, straight up 2 words, get involved. I mean, when you're not involved, then you have these other people making these decisions that are going to impact us 10, 20 years down the road. And it's going to be too late to take action.
Getting involved can be as easy as attending your city council meetings. Every city has its official website where you can find meeting dates and different organizations going on. In Lindsay, Brianda Lemus, Fresno State Focus.
Remember to visit your city website to find out more ways to get involved. Now, let's go to Jocelyn for information on 2 propositions found on the ballot.
Proposition 26 and 27 may determine future sports in California. Estela Nay Jaramillo, sports editor of the Collegian, is here now to give us more insight. Thank you for joining us, Estela.
Thank you for having me.
So, what are Propositions 26 and 27?
So both have to do with sports gambling here in California since it is currently illegal. So passing those 2 propositions, specifically with 26, will allow sports gambling on Native American tribal lands, and Proposition 27 specifically focuses on online sports gambling, so bringing software like DraftKings or FanDuel here to California.
And how will that affect California and Fresno State?
So there's different things that people have brought up between the 2 propositions. Specifically with Proposition 27, there's passing it would allow the homelessness initiative, so they will be able to get the tax revenue from online sports gambling to use for the homelessness in Fresno. But obviously, there's the other side saying that there can be other ways to find and tax for that homelessness initiative.
It seems like students are more worried about 26 and 27. What could that be?
I think a lot of it has to be with gambling in general. It's not a positive stigma, so bringing that will make it a lot easily accessible, especially with Proposition 27 being specifically with online gambling.
Everyone has a phone nowadays, so it's really easy. But really, thank you for joining us today. There are a few different ways to vote in this election. First, you needed to have been registered. The deadline was earlier this week. Once you decide how you want to vote, you can drop off your ballot in any drop box in the county where you registered, like this one in front of the Maya Cinemas. You can search online. The ballot needs to be dropped off by the election day, which is November 8th. Or of course, you can vote in person. Sydney, back to you.
The students of Fresno State want their voices to be heard with activities and events around campus. That is the purpose of Associated Students Incorporated, or ASI for short. Jared Hickman tells us more about the student-run government here on campus.
Fresno State students need a voice, and luckily there is someone who is willing to speak for them. ASI is the student-run government. It is located in the new Resnick Student Union on campus. They are hard at work with helping students.
We basically are the support base for our students. We help them with anything that we believe is a necessity or can be a resource for them. We also are the voice of our students as well.
Carrillo gives the resources her senators need to represent the students on campus. Aiden Garagadorbil is the senator for College of Arts and Humanities.
As a senator, you are supposed to be doing outreach. You're supposed to be constantly trying to talk to people you represent. As in my college, I'm constantly trying to reach out to students, talk to them, see what they need.
The outreach coordinator has a different role than the senators. It's to help students and collaborations come together.
Helping build student leaders and understanding the processes of how the actions that they need to accomplish, how they affect the university, and how they'll have the grander effect throughout the years after they leave.
Any type of event, meet, or collaboration that you think would be best for Fresno State's campus and their students, or yourself, just head to the third floor of the Resnick Student Union here on Fresno State's campus and speak with an ASI member.
From Fresno, California, Jared Hickman, Fresno State Focus.
To know more about ASI, you can follow their social media at Fresno State ASI on all platforms. Students are encouraged to call freely for anything they think is important. Coming up, are you noticing a lot of students out sick these days? We'll learn how to know the difference between COVID, a cold, or a respiratory infection.
Please stay tuned for sports with Jared Hickman as we look ahead for the World Series NBA beginning and how so impressive about the amateur golfer breaking 90.
Clear skies and possible rain. We'll talk about it next with your focus on weather.
I got the bulldog spirit up in my head.
Up in my head.
Up in my head.
I got that bulldog spirit up in my head. Up in my head to stay. I got that bulldog spirit deep in my heart. Deep in my heart. Deep in my heart. Got that bulldog spirit deep in my heart. Deep in my heart to stay. I got that bulldog spirit down in my toes. Down in my toes. Down in my toes. I got that bulldog spirit down in my toes. Hey. Down in my toes to stay. I got that bulldog spirit up in my head, deep in my heart, down in my toes. I got that bulldog spirit all over me to stay. I got that bulldog spirit
deep in my heart.
Deep in my heart, deep in my heart. I got that bulldog spirit.
The temperatures are changing and people are starting to get sick. Leticia Berber, health educator for Fresno County's Department of Public Health, is here to share some information on different sicknesses that are common as our weather gets cooler. Thank you for joining us, Ms. Berber.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. And so we have a lot of media exposure for RSV. Can you kind of explain what that is?
Yes, RSV is a virus. It's called a respiratory syncytial virus that affects mostly babies or older adults because their immune system is not as strong as ours. Their immune system around when they're a baby, they're very weak. They're not strong enough to combat that virus. When an older adult, it's a weak immune system. So RSV can appear in babies and in older adults. Symptoms of our RSV are cough, trouble breathing, fever, congestion, and runny nose. Again, same symptoms as COVID and flu. So we have those three viruses circulating in our community during this time of year. So please be very careful. Practice those things you've been practicing during COVID. Wash your hands and practice good hygiene and get vaccinated. Please, vaccination is the key to combating these three viruses. Except for RSV, we don't have a vaccine for RSV, but we have a vaccine for the flu and COVID. RSV is the virus that we have no cure for, and we have no medication for. So the good thing that you can do for RSV to avoid it is avoid being around sick individuals. If you want to wear a mask is a good protection to protect yourself from RSV as well, and keep those babies away from sick people.
Absolutely. And so you spoke about medication when regarding RSV, and I know from research that antibiotics don't work. So what do you suggest people do if they do catch this?
If you do become sick with RSV, especially your babies or your grandmother or your older family member, please keep them at home. Don't take them out to public places. Keep them as comfortable as you can, and please visit your doctor as soon as you can, especially with babies, because their lungs are so small that they can't sustain that virus, and they can easily turn into pneumonia where they can end up hospitalized. So stay home and practice good hygiene. Visit your doctor as soon as possible.
Okay, thank you. And thank you again for coming to the studio here today, Mrs. Berber.
It's a pleasure.
Hi, this is Miranda Adams, and this is your focus on weather. As you can see, it's a beautiful day outside, warm, sunny, and we even have a light breeze. If we take a look at the national radar, we do have a low pressure system moving northeast, bringing rain and gale warnings to the Midwest. It also looks like we have some activity closer to home, so let's zoom in. And yes, we have this pretty large cold front making its way down the Pacific Northwest, and that's going to bring rain and some snow. Although we're probably not going to have any winter weather here in the valley, temperatures are going to be in the low 70s across most of the valley. Fresno, Madera, and Los Banos sitting at 71 right now. Tonight, temperatures are going to drop into the 40s. Fresno a bit warmer at 47. Shaver Lake only a few degrees from freezing at 36. Now, air quality is going to be moderate today, which is pretty good. And taking a look into next week, temperatures are going to stay in the 70s with intermittent clouds. Halloween is going to be nice and sunny with a high of 76. This is Miranda Adams, and that was your focus on weather.
Welcome back. I'm Jared Hickman with your focus on sports. The game of golf is expanding to the younger generation. Holden Wheeler finds out what is driving people to the tee box.
Golf is hard. No matter how many good shots you hit, a bad one is inevitable. Yet the younger generation is still drawn to the course, leaving former high school golfer Jackie Tai offering advice for the new wave.
I would say the club that they need to focus on is the 9-iron. That's a really nice club to build your foundation and baseline, and you can just move on from there. However, the 9-iron is probably the best to build your tempo up.
There's also golf course residents like Brian Seamus, whose backyard is literally a golf course. Shacked up behind a putting green and a sand trap, he sees all the players who walk or ride through.
Oh yeah, always remember, you're not a professional and you don't do this for a living. Because if you were to use your actual golf game to gauge whether you want to continue playing the sport or not, it could probably go sideways really quickly.
If you're new to golf, something you could try doing is playing 2 balls at once. Or you could play scramble with your friends, playing best ball. Focusing on the scorecard won't do you any good early on. Just have fun. Like Jalil Mustafa, a new golfer who plays scrambles and is just starting to piece it together trying to break 90 on 18 holes.
The biggest difference I've noticed so far would definitely be my consistency. I don't top balls as much, I hit them pure, and now I hit the ball a lot farther, probably 20 to 30 yards farther than normal.
Mustafa still hits bad shots like everyone, but playing 2 balls makes sure one gets in play and gets him a chance at a putt. He knows it's a long road ahead, but he's eager to break 90.
Probably around a year or more, and I can't wait. It's going to be a great feeling.
Holden Wheeler, Fresno State Focus.
If you're thinking about going out to the course or the range, remember what Brian Simon said. Just have fun. Remember, you're not a professional yet. The World Series is now officially set with the number 6 seed in the National League, Philadelphia Phillies, taking on the number 1 seed in the American League, Houston Astros. For Philadelphia, this is their first World Series berth since 2009, while this is Houston's 4th trip to the World Series in the last 6 seasons. The Fall Classic is set to begin this Friday afternoon at 5 in Houston, Texas. It's a best-of-7 series, so the first team with 4 wins will be crowned as World Series champions. The NBA season is now underway after a long off-season. Many teams improved, and many still have things to work on. The Golden State Warriors look to defend their crown for the 5th time. For their 5th title in the last 8 years. Some teams to watch out for this season as potential contenders could be the Memphis Grizzlies, Philadelphia 76ers, Cleveland Cavaliers, and Fresno State alum Paul George and the Los Angeles Clippers. Now to your Bulldog athletics. Today, women's golf is at the Rainbow Wahine Invitational in Hawaii. Thursday, volleyball will be at Wyoming, match time 5:30. Women's soccer will be at San Jose State, match time 7. Friday, women's tennis will be in the St. Mary's College Invitational. Cross country will be in the Mountain West Championships in Wyoming. Saturday, swim and dive will be in Nevada, match time at 11. Volleyball will be at Colorado State at noon. Football is hosting San Diego State Saturday night at 7:30. To close the week on Sunday, the women's tennis team will be competing another day at the St. Mary's College Invitational. Now, here's Holden Wheeler with more insight into Saturday's home game against San Diego State.
I'm standing right now outside of Valley Children's Stadium in the walkway that the Fresno State Bulldogs will soon be taking this Saturday to face San Diego State at 7:30. The Bulldogs right now are coming off of 2 huge wins, one against San Jose State on homecoming and their most recent coming against New Mexico in a game that they won 41-9, being their best performance of the year. Also, Logan Fife putting up his best performance so far as the Bulldogs starting quarterback. He threw for 225 yards and a touchdown, and on the ground he gained 49 yards and 2 touchdowns. The leading rusher on the team was Jordan Mims. He's a lead back. He had 165 yards and a touchdown. The lead receiver, Jalen Moreno-Cropper. He had 158 yards with 1 touchdown, with the long reception being 75 yards, which led to his lone touchdown. As for quarterback Jay Kaner, wide receiver Josh Kelly, and safety Evan Williams, they are still week to week, as Coach Jeff Tedford announced earlier this week. Linebacker Raymond Scott, unfortunately, is out for the rest of the year with a thumb surgery, and the same goes for wide receiver Emery Edwards. Now, as for this Saturday, the Bulldogs right now are sitting as favorites by 8.5 points, but that doesn't mean anything right now. They have to go out there and show it and show how bad they want it, and Logan Fife really has a chance to prove himself as the future quarterback for the Bulldogs. We'll find out Saturday when your Dogs take on San Diego State at 7:30. Make sure to get here early and get in your seats before kickoff. For Fresno State Focus, Holden Wheeler.
Coming up, we share some Halloween events,
ranging from hunting down the perfect pumpkin to visiting the zoo at night.
Plus, we share the significance of celebrating Dia de los Muertos, the Hispanic culture. We will be right back.
Success. At Fresno State, it's no secret. It's discovering new ways to change our world. It's creating opportunities as diverse as our community itself. It's in the distinction of our graduates as they lead us into the future. Success is no secret at Fresno State. It's our mission.
This is our Fresno State, forming relationships and learning experiences that last a lifetime, making friends who are like family, learning from professors who treat us like family, and earning a degree to make a better future for our family. Engaging our alumni generation by generation by generation. This is our Fresno State. Welcome to the family.
I got the Bulldog spirit up in my head.
Up in my head. Up in my head. I got that Bulldog spirit up in my head. Up in my head to say. I got that Bulldog spirit deep in my heart. Deep in my heart. Deep in my heart. Got that Bulldog spirit deep in my heart. Deep in my heart to stay. I got that Bulldog spirit down in my toes. Down in my toes. Down in my toes, I got that Bulldog spirit. Down in my toes, hey! Down in my toes to stay. I got that Bulldog spirit. Up in my head, deep in my heart. Down in my toes, I got that Bulldog spirit. All over me to stay. I got that Bulldog spirit.
Deep in my heart.
Deep in my heart, deep in my heart. I got that Bulldog spirit.
October 26th is National Pumpkin Day. Happy National Pumpkin Day to all the fall lovers out there. Today celebrates what is known as one of the oldest known crops that were grown by indigenous people as early as 3500 BC. The act of carving pumpkins was originally brought over by Irish immigrants in the 1800s. With so much history, it makes sense that pumpkins have their own holiday. Many Fresno State students are celebrating Everything Pumpkin. October 26th is National Pumpkin Day, where everyone across the United States can celebrate pumpkin spice and everything nice.
So there's pumpkin pie. I know in baseball we had like pumpkin seeds, I think. Pumpkin spice latte. I think there's like a pumpkin like candle, I guess.
Besides the smell and taste, you can also get crafty with pumpkins.
One of my favorite things to do like with friends is like carving pumpkins, making art out of it. Typically like, recognizable characters or just characters we find interesting. Yeah. And afterwards, eating the seeds after you cook it. It's pretty fun.
Each pumpkin is unique. This factor allows them to become more personal and special for the people who bring them home. They can come in various amounts of sizes as well as colors, such as this one, or this one, which is a little bit smaller than that one, this one, which is extremely smaller than the last one, as well as this little baby one. There are tons of pumpkins to choose from, and so hunting for the right one that matches your personality is part of the fun. One ASI member likes the misfit ones.
I look for a pumpkin that speaks to me, so if they're cute and they're weird shaped, I kind of like pumpkins like that. I like the misfits that don't fit into normal ideas of pumpkins.
Pumpkins throughout history have made a name for themselves, and in doing so have become an essential part of the fall season. The best way to hunt down your favorite pumpkin is at a pumpkin patch.
Mariah actually is at the local pumpkin patch now. Happy Pumpkin Day, Mariah!
Thank you, Jocelyn. I'm Mariah Mendoza, coming to you live at Planet Pumpkin on First and Knees. If you're looking for something festive to do this weekend, this is the perfect place. On the right side of us, we have local food vendors that sell French fries, funnel cakes, corn dogs, nachos. And if you move all the way over here to the left, right behind us, you see rides for the kiddos. The carousel's up and running. And if you're still considering on buying pumpkins, it's not too late. We have Alexis Reyes here to give us more information about that. Hi, Alexis.
Hi.
Hi. So when is the last day that people can purchase pumpkins?
We will be open until October 31st, so that's Monday. We will still be selling up until that day.
I heard you guys give out discounted pumpkins. Can you give us a little bit more information about that?
Yeah, if we have any pumpkins left over after that day, we will be still open selling them until they run out at a discounted price.
Awesome. And I know people are going to want to know, what time do the food trucks open?
So they usually open around 5 p.m. on the weekdays. On the weekends, they will open around 2 or 3 p.m.
And what is your best selling? I'm Mariah Mendoza for Fresno State Focus. Oh.
For those who haven't or won't get a chance to hunt down a pumpkin this month, don't worry. SAI is having a booth at Carnival Nightmare event this weekend that gives you a chance to win a free one.
Speaking of Carnival Nightmare, the Carnival Nightmare will be at the Satellite Student Union tomorrow, October 27th. Students are encouraged to wear costumes to the event, though violent props are prohibited. The event will have food, music, competitions, activities, and even attractions. The event does begin at 7 and ends at 10.
So are you going?
I wish, but I'm actually going out of town to go trick-or-treating.
Oh no, is that why you're wearing those earrings?
Yeah, I actually did wear my ghost earrings today, kind of show some spirit, but my little brother's 9.
Aww.
So we'll see what he dresses up as this year.
It's going to be wonderful. The Fresno State Zoo is hosting a Halloween theme throughout the month of October. It's called Zoo Boo, where the zoo is open after dark. People can wear costumes and bring a pail to hold candy. The park is carried with Halloween decorations, light pumpkins, and even skeletons. People will hang out booth from the candy from booths. Zoo will be open Thursday through Saturday from 5 to 8 this weekend. Tickets are $20 for children, $22 for adults. To buy tickets, go to Fresno State Zoo website.
If you want a dash of supernatural, you can take a trip to Hornitos. It's a small town in the foothills of Mariposa, which many say is haunted. In the mid-1800s, Hornitos was a bustling mining town. It was rich with gold and outlaws like Joaquin Murrieta, and saw its fair share of crime. Ruins from its heyday still stand, serving as a reminder of what once was.
I think it's haunted. Everybody that lives here thinks it's haunted. Other people probably think it's haunted too, but it is haunted. It really is haunted.
So stand by, camera 1.
Legend 8 Hornitos was named after the early graves in the town thought to resemble small ovens or hornitos in Spanish. People will be paying respects to these and other graves on Dia de los Muertos with a candlelight processing to the Catholic Church. El Día de los Muertos is a Latin holiday that brings family together to honor loved ones who have died. This holiday has been celebrated on November 1st for more than 3,000 years. Día de los Muertos is depicted in the movie Coco. The film features bright colors, sugar, skulls, and other elements that is part of the tradition that a marigold flower plays an important role because it's believed to be the flower of the dead.
Even though we have a past, they are still here within us in our hearts and in our memories.
Marigold flowers have a distinct smell. Flowers, candles, bread, and portraits are all items to help share those memories. Creating an altar in your home is another way to celebrate the day. Arte Americas in downtown Fresno invites you to the Dia de los Muertos exhibit. You'll see authentic tombstones along with skull paintings and other art. The exhibit is open Thursday through Sunday from noon to 5.
One more thing to put on your calendar.
International Coffee Hour is where students can learn about different cultures, study abroad experiences, and international service learning.
A variety of countries, foods, and cultures are represented, including Egypt, Azerbaijan, Korean street food, and more. International Coffee Hour has been part of Fresno State for 32 years. It gives students the community global perspective. This event is held every Tuesday at 2 p.m. in the library room 2206.
So, I know that you were interested in studying abroad. What's your experiences been so far?
It was amazing. So I went to South Korea last spring. I learned a little bit of the culture, the food, and of course the language. It was the hardest, but still, I love it.
Yeah, and what did you have any fears while you were there or in the process of applying?
I feel like my biggest fear is the language because I don't speak Korean, so you're like, wait, what am I going to do there?
Right.
But the good thing is a lot of people speak English, so that is the best part of all.
That's awesome. And so this International Coffee, do you have opportunities to talk to people there?
Yes, of course. Actually, I'm doing one on November 15th, so we are talking about Korean street food, what to expect, what kind of amazing foods, and we will have some examples of them as well. So you should come by.
Oh, I might. Send me the details.
Of course.
All right, so speaking of, next week on Fresno State Focus, Mariah will show us how sailors in the Navy battle mental health issues.
Plus, Miranda takes us on a walk down to Fresno Clovis Rail Trail.
Also, we'll explain everything you need to know about the upcoming election.
Thank you for joining us and see you next week.